welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. It's so good to see you. How have you been? You doing okay? You look amazing, by the way. You look great. I love this look on you. This thing you're doing with your hair. Oh, I wish my hair would act like that. I wish I could look like that. You look stunning. Speaking of stunning, by the way, I literally have never looked hotter. Like, you know that song by the Pussycat Dolls? Their entire discography? That's me. With this face, with this hair, I've never looked hotter. Like, I am a hot girl. Like, if you were ever confused, if you were like, I don't know, man, is Jordaline a hot girl? Confirmed. Anyway, so today we're doing something a bit different, something a bit fun. I have been saving my money for the past few months, so I really don't have like a book haul. I don't have like a shopping trip, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to save my money because I'm moving. Literally in like 3 weeks, hopefully. I went to a place today to view it, and I really want it. I really want this apartment, and I really freaking hope that they accept me, that they like approve me. If they don't, I will be heartbroken. But if they don't approve me, I do have another place lined up that's like just as nice. It's like, it's good. It's just like, it's just missing those little itty bitty things that just like really push it over the edge. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm gonna be moving in like literally like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so soon, and yet I have packed nothing. I don't have a book haul, like I was saying. So we're gonna talk about just like books I've already read. We're not gonna talk about new books. We're gonna talk about old books, books that have already made their appearance on this channel that maybe I just don't talk about as much. But I think that you, whether you're a new follower, an old follower, you should read these things no matter when you find this video. Okay? We're gonna talk about books that I love but never talk about. First of all, I want to talk about a book I was reminded of recently because of another booktuber, and that is A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. If you were around maybe 2 years ago, I read this book. I really wish I had done like a reading vlog for it. I should reread it and do a reading vlog for it because it would be such a good reading vlog. Anyway, oh my god, my hair looks so good. Oh, I can't make this video, I'm too hot. When I first read this book, I literally read it in one sitting. The audiobook was like 12 hours long. And honestly, I don't understand people who don't like this book. But let me tell you what it's about, okay? This is about 3 men. 2 of the men are brothers. The other man is one of the brothers' friend. And they're walking, right? It's like the middle of winter. It's like snowy. They're like walking. They're like blah, 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 you know? Crunch, 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 crunch in the snow. And they come across this field. And in this field is an airplane that's completely covered up in snow. They go and investigate the airplane, and they find inside of that airplane this dead guy, first of all, which is like so sad, like RIP dead guy, dead pilot guy. And then they also find a duffel bag full of mother cash, full of money, millions of dollars in this duffel bag. And they think we could get away with all of this. We could get away with taking this money and nobody finding out. And all they really need is like a simple plan. That's why it's called A Simple Plan. It's because like one of them is like, listen guys, we can do this like really simply with like a little simple plan. Oh my god. Like, I don't want to give anything away. I really don't want to give anything away, but I need you to know that when you start this book and you think there's no way that this could get crazy, kooky, or wild, it's not possible. Let me tell you that you're wrong. Because when I first read it, I was like, oh, this is like regular degular stuff. And then Scott Smith was like, no bitch, this is like a new genre that you don't even know to expect. It's so good. I'm telling you, if you haven't read A Simple Plan by Scott Smith, read it because you will love it. And if you don't love it, that's crazy because it's so good. I also wanted to talk about a little book that I read a few years ago also that I don't talk about. That's the whole thesis of the video. Why am I restating it? But I don't talk about it at all anymore, but I still love it. I still think about it sometimes. And that is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This is my favorite Ruth Ware book. And personally, in my opinion, I think it's her best book. Some of her other books are just absolute trash. Like, let's be honest. Some of them are just duds. Turn of the Key is legitimately so good. It's similar to A Simple Plan in that I read it so quickly. I think I read it in like 2 days tops. In case you don't know, this is about this woman. She gets this job at this like very fancy house for this very fancy family to be a nanny for these children. Or is it just one child? I think it's 2 children. I can't remember. And the whole house that she's staying in, that she's nannying these children in, it's like a mansion. It's like freaking, it's like fancy. Everything has like a button, everything like talks to you. You can like be like, Siri, turn off the lights, and then the lights go down or whatever. And we know at the beginning of the book that the main character has been convicted of murdering one of the children that she was supposed to take care of. This book teeters on the edge of really making you question what's actually happening, because there's all these moments where the technology seems to be too good. It seems like the technology is being used against the characters. And then also in other instances, it seems as though it's not technology, but actually something paranormal or supernatural. It's so good. For me, honestly, it was like hook, line, sinker. It was so good. It's one of my favorite thrillers of all time. I really, really love The Turn of the Key. I should also reread this book, to be honest. Maybe I should do a rereading vlog where I reread all of these books. How fucking wild would that be? This next book isn't even that old. It came out, I want to say like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And that is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. I feel as though, and maybe this is crazy, I feel as though this book came out, I read it, I talked about it once, and then never again. And that annoys me so much, because I know in my heart of hearts that I want everyone to know how good this book is. Because first of all, it's teeny tiny. It packs so much in it. And okay, wait, let me just tell you what it's about before I get like carried away. This is about this woman. She's married, right? To this like guy, and everything's perfect. She could not be happier. Her life is literally perfect. 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 Girl, the whole time was I just like talking and like my shit was literally melting off my face? Is that what was happening? Because that's so embarrassing. Un momento. That is exactly what was happening. And that's so embarrassing. That's literally so embarrassing. Oh my God, I can't believe I was literally like my literal makeup was melting. Maybe it's because I'm so hot. Anyway, okay, that's literally gross. Okay, where was I? Her life is perfect. One day she is like tidying, she's just like combing her hair or whatever, and she opens her drawer and her vanity, and she finds like a little piece of bone, seemingly human skeletal remains. And all of a sudden she's like, maybe this isn't perfect. Like I was saying, I can't tell you how wonderful, how thoughtful, how like progressive, and like it's done so well. So first of all, Catherine M. Valente is the most beautiful writer. I don't want to be like hyperbolic, but her writing is so beautiful. It's stunning. Jeremy, Jonathan, Tiffany, Brittany, it's stunning. Also, the mystery, the sort of horror elements of the little novella are just, because like you are left guessing. You are left confused to like the last moment. Like, and then when it's explained, everything just sort of like, it all clicks into place, and it's perfect. I love it so much. It's like such an easy read. It's so compelling. The writing is stunning. Catherine M. Valente, like I really need to read more of Catherine M. Valente's work, I think, because the bitch has it going on. She knows. She knows. Oh yeah, she knows. Okay, I'm not, please check out Comfort Me with Apples. Also, the title is literally perfect. The title is so good. Also, let me know in the comments if you guessed the ending to Comfort Me with Apples, because I can't imagine a world where anyone would ever guess the actual ending. Because the whole book, I was just confusion. confusion. Next up, let's talk about a book called Nyctophobia by Christopher Fowler. I never talk about this book, and I really wish I did. I wish I talked about it all the time because I think about it all the time. I read this book like 4 years ago, like 5 years ago. Years ago, Tiffany. In case you don't know what this is about, this is a horror novel about this woman. She gets like newly married to this guy, right? But he's from like Spain. So she moves to Spain with him, and she's like a little perfect little housewife kind of moment. She moves into Spain, into this place called the Hyperion House. It's so bright. The house was perfectly designed to capture the most amount of light. So the whole house is constantly, other than like at nighttime, bathed in sunlight. It's perfectly collaborated to be bright, airy, beautiful, which really works for our main character because she as a child had nyctophobia, the fear of the dark. And so that kind of like still lingers with her. And then weird shit starts to happen. And I don't want to say anything crazy. I don't want to say anything too much. There is like 1 or 2 scenes in this book that I still, when I think about it, I'm just like, oh God, like it's just dread inducing. Not only that, but like pure panic. I have this vivid memory of working at my like shitty retail job and like reading during my shift because I didn't give a flying fuck about my job. I remember so vividly leaning against the counter with this book open, reading it and being so absorbed and feeling my heart just completely like, my heart was racing. It was so much anxiety, so much panic on the page that like, even though I was in this like very public place, I was actually getting afraid from the book. It was so good. And not only that, but like the ending, the twist of it all is wild. Tiffany, if you haven't checked this out, check it out, please. If you have read it, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think of it or what you thought of it. Cause I want to talk to people about it because it's so good. Okay, now let's talk about a book called 13 Stories. This was gifted to me by my beautiful, beautiful patron, Lonnie. I love all my patrons. They are honestly the upper echelon of society. Lonnie gifted me this book via my Amazon wishlist, and I read it, and I can't tell you how much I loved every moment of it. And like, if you know me, you know that I don't like short story collections. They're just like not for me. I just don't fuck with them. But this for some reason works so well. This is basically a short story collection about all these people who live in this one apartment building, and they all kind of connect together at the end. Each of them is so unique from the other, and yet they all kind of tie together in a weird, like horrific way. And it's just stunningly done. There are a few characters that literally frighten me, like when I think about them. And there are a few moments that literally frighten me when I think about them. Like, it's just such a good book. And it's such a good example of a horror short story collection being genuinely scary, genuinely interesting for each and every single story. Like, there isn't a single dud in the short story collection, like at all. Like, hand to God. Is that what they do? Hand to God? I don't know. Hand to God. There are no duds, in my opinion. I love it so much. The writing is fantastic. The like thriller, mystery, horror aspects are so good. Every time you start a new story, it just gets like more and more like deep. You go further down the rabbit hole and you can't really get out by the end of it. You're kind of stuck there as well with the rest of them. Please check this out if you haven't already. And finally, our last book that we're going to talk about is a little book called They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Is that her name? Do you ever think like, hey, I just wish that I could be a university professor and murder men? Well, you're in luck. This book, They Never Learn, is about this history. I think she's a history professor, or she's just like a professor. She works at a university, right? She's like a teacher. She, every single year, does like a little raffle, just like on her own, you know what I mean? Like, she plays her own little bingo game, basically. And she chooses one man from either like her faculty or like a student to kill, to murder, to like, you know, allow them to exit this life. Basically, she's really looking for like the misogynists, the rapists, the like creepos, the weirdos, like, and it is iconic. It is iconic. If you love misandry, if you love men getting their comeuppance, if you love women being hot and kind of gay, and if you love, I don't know, seeing men die, it's like a pretty good book. This is also one of my favorite thrillers of all time. It's so well done. Not only that, but there's like a mid-book twist that I literally did not see coming at all. I was gooped, I was gagged, my face was cracked. It was cracked like an egg, darling. The main character is like a complete badass, which like I want to see in these kind of books. Imagine Promising Young Woman in a book, and that's what you have with this book. It's so well done. All of the characters leap off the page, and like just the mystery, the like suspense, you know, like is she gonna get away with it? Is she gonna get caught? Like horror is so good. I love it. I hope you do too, Tiffany. My friends, my family, my familia. I'm so hot. Thank you so much for being here, for spending this time with me, your, you know, token hot friend. Literally no one thinks that. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you did, if you've read any of these books, or if you're going to read any of them. I swear to God, read A Simple Plan. If you're gonna take any recommendation from any of this, read A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. You will not regret it. I swear to fuck. Thank you so much. Okay, don't forget to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit. We talk about creepy shit. We talk about comforting each other with apples and chat. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Au revoir. Goodbye, Tiffany. Goodbye.